is where the fun begins.
Hello, welcome to the Council. We begin tonight's meeting of the Council by calling the Council to order. Hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us. The Council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm Elise, and with me are at least two of my fellow Council members, Magic Ace.
Yo.
Sakari.
Yes, unmuted. I have green lines. Hi, everyone. I caught that one before that one turned into a disaster, fortunately.
And we have Redna is not going to be able to join us tonight because he's traveling. But as our special guest, we have Jem from Coffee with Jem. So
hey,
Hey, Jem.
how's everybody?
Good to have you here.
Yay.
Thank you. I love being here.
She was our super secret guest, let's say.
Yes.
And it's actually really appropriate because we're going to be reviewing Extra Life and SWTORUnite from last weekend.
Yay.
I'm so glad I got to show the title image of Marshall head bobbing. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. I just think it's so
really
epic.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, Marshall's a beautiful man in his pink hair, so we're glad to show it. But after our live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere podcasts are found, including our YouTube channel, and you get to see our faces. It's wonderful. You can also check out our social media, which would be like Twitch, this beautiful platform from which we are performing right now. You can also find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/CouncilSWTOR, and you can also find us on Twitter, which is @CouncilSWTOR. We have Patreon, which is patreon.com/CouncilSWTOR. But wait, there's more. We also have a website, which is thecouncilswtor.com. And generally, any kind of search engine, just type us in there. I promise we're there.
Whew.
That works. Yes, indeed. Okay,
It's a
so
mouthful.
it is, isn't it? So
Obligatory, that's what she said. Okay.
hey, we'll start off
my.
on a high note. Hey, what? All right, so let us get started with the icebreaker. Icebreaker, just a quick question to get us started every week. You know how it goes, guys. What we're going to do is, here's the question for the night. What we're going to do is start with Jem, since she's our special guest.
Oh.
and really, I kept it nice and surface and easy for everybody. What have you been up to, in-game or in other games, lately besides Extra Life and SWTOR?
I took the week off from gaming, basically. We had a lot to do. We had soccer games and just stuff around the house, getting ready for Thanksgiving, and football. Of course, my Tennessee Titans played on Monday Night Football last week,
Huh?
and then they had an early game yesterday. Yes. They won both games. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. Woo!
Don't even bring that up here. That's just me.
Oh, no, you're a Cowboys
No.
fan.
Yes.
That's not mean. That's good.
Not at all.
I am a Cowboys fan. I'm so sorry
That's
to
okay,
our
sorry.
audience.
We can't all be perfect.
It's not like she said the Patriots. Let her live her dream. It's fine.
It's those old Texas roots run deep, I suppose, right?
They do.
comes down
They
to.
do. They do. I was a Cowboys fan for a long time, but as a single mom, they started getting a little carried away, and I didn't think I could teach my boys to respect women and
Right.
love the Cowboys at the same time. So sorry.
Are we talking about the cheerleaders? Is that what we're
No, absolutely not. It has nothing to do with
Oh.
cheerleaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must, as a 1980s and on Steelers fan, I have no love for the Cowboys.
I hear you.
Fair enough. That's a
I hear
not
you.
a direct rivalry, but it counts, I suppose.
Yeah.
Racking up the
No,
titles at least.
It just got to where the players were getting out of hand. Jerry Jones wasn't keeping them under control, and anyway, it's a whole nother can of worms I can talk about some other time. But yeah, but my Oilers, I went with them when they went to Tennessee. So yeah.
I can't really talk much about it since I let the St. Louis Rams go hardcore and waved them goodbye when they let Jackson leave. I was like, get on over there to the West Coast. Nobody wants you here. So I'm still a hardcore Packers fan. Let's not talk about the pain that's happened since then, but it's okay. I'm loyal, but that has nothing to do with our discussion. So
No, it doesn't. But we're having a great time, that's for sure. Elise, what have you been up to lately?
Well, after my 12-hour adventure in SWTOR, I didn't get to play again because of mom duties until Sunday at all. And then Sunday, sadly, I have been playing Warframe because the new Fortuna expansion came out. So,
Ooh.
there you go.
Sweet,
Okay,
sweet.
awesome. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to talk more about it? I'm telling you,
If you-
stuffed animals. There's
It's like shortest answer ever.
I'm read. Why I was, since it's not SWTOR, I didn't know if I was supposed to elaborate or not. New expansion. It's their biggest expansion I think they've ever had. Lots of people have been waiting. It's been like 9 months I think since they've had new content in. So I am now ready to start hunting floofs, which are
Floofs?
basically
Floof?
floofs.
Is that their version of porgs? What is a floof?
Kinda. You're supposed to be doing animal conservation, so you're tracking animals and trying to keep them from the people, the baddies, essentially, from killing them off for money. So, and once you capture one of them, they become a stuffed animal you can put in your orbiter. But I
Aw.
haven't done it yet, so I don't know if that's really conservation, if I'm killing and stuffing something, or if it's just.
Well, it depends. If the population is too high, then you're doing everyone a favor so that they don't overrun. Therefore, you're actually doing conservation.
Right, I could see that, but I don't know since I haven't done the first quest yet to find out how this works. But I'm ready to do it, so I'm excited about getting something for my ship. So,
Right.
and in Warframe, you get a ship, just like old school Star Wars before Strongholds, right? So
Right. Yeah.
kind of.
Magic Ace, what have you been up to?
Well, about an hour ago, I killed the Dreadmasters on Nightmare mode. I have two groups that I've been running, so not the same as before. They're different groups, and I've been doing a lot of PvP for Conquest, and I leveled and figured out how to play a PT for
Really?
DPS. Yes, I
Nice.
always was anti-PTs because
Power
I
Tech
thought...
DPS is amazing.
That was my first.
So,
That was my second tune I ever made was a power tech.
but
I
my
love it.
problem was I kept trying to level a tank and I'd get very angry at it and delete it by level 30.
Okay.
So I decided this is the last subclass I need. Gosh darn it, I'm making this stupid thing. So I made it as AP. I did the advanced, what is it, pyro or something like that. Anyways,
Mhm.
I actually really love it. And the main reason why I got rocket punch back. I have been
Oh yes,
Right.
love the
proper
rocket
words here.
punch.
What's the PG version of this? I have been complaining about it since they took Rocket Punch from Merc.
Right.
I was so gosh dang mad, and I've mentioned it on this show so many freaking times. And I got my power tech, and it had Rocket Punch, and that's one of the GCDs I need to use to proc my rail shot. So I was like, oh
There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I actually
I love
really,
it.
really love the PT. And the fact that I was able to pull over 8k damage in one of the runs I did for just a hard mode made me super freaking excited because
Yes.
I don't even have all the
AP
augments done.
Is
And I also don't have it
amazing.
min-max to 248. So I was really freaking excited about that. So that's what I've been doing. I've been learning PT and healing a lot. I got the Dreadmaster title. I got another Dragon Slayer. I got a couple of mounts. And I killed Revan twice on hard mode. That was nice.
Sweet.
She's putting all the rest of
So-
us to shame.
No, I mean, I've been playing this game since free-to-play launched. And so I feel like it's finally time that I've been getting stuff that I've been trying for so long. So, and it's not like I didn't have help. I didn't do it by myself. There was,
Right.
7 other people in the group. So that was nice. Oh, and I finally got my hard mode achievements for like 16-man stuff. So I've done like all the hard mode 16-mans. That's been nice.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of PvP. I've been doing lots of PvP and
Right.
Space Barbie. I've been doing Space Barbie. I've been dressing up my characters and making them pretty again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I love Pyrotech. I just wish it had the DPS output that made it worth it. It's just an awful DPS spec, personally.
Can I
But-
just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I thought you were done. Please continue.
No, that was all I had to say. Is like if it had anywhere near the strength of AP, I would definitely be playing that right now. I actually really enjoyed it, but I put it down when they just nerfed it to.
Oh yeah.
So what are you going to say, Elise?
Just on the Space Barbie thing, SWTORUnite just, I think, has a new video out about consular outfits. So there was there was a little chat on Twitter about people's outfits on Twitter.
Right.
So, and I had neglected to mention the Lucy Andre. I think that's what it is, right? The Lucy Andre outfit in my list from the last time we talked about outfits.
Yes.
And that is one of my all-time favorites.
Our most recent episode.
Completely forgot about it. So yeah. Anyway.
Well, cool. All right, so I guess I have to answer this question too, right? Besides running the events that we're going to be reviewing tonight, I think I have been kind of taking it easy in SWTOR, although I'm still in and chatting with the guild and hanging out in Discord and such. But I've actually picked up Diablo 3, which I know is way
It's a
due.
great game.
It's way overdue. But so they've been talking. I've been seeing a lot of ads on Facebook for this Diablo Immortal awfulness, this mobile game that they decided to come out with.
But it might not be awful. I mean,
so look, it may be great.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm not a mobile platform person myself, so I don't know if I'll ever play it. But seeing the images made me just want to play Diablo again. I played Diablo 2 till I was sick of it, and I've just never played Diablo 3 because I've been so busy playing SWTOR. So I decided to actually try to catch up. I did actually stream a night of it. It was kind of fun to do. So
I'm just excited. I know we have to move on, but with the Diablo Immortal, I don't like mobile. I have yet to find a mobile game I really want to play for more than 5 minutes.
yeah, same.
So I'm hoping that this, and then also Bethesda has Blades, Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a mobile game as well, coming out, I think, either in December or next year. That also looks like a regular game on a phone. So I'm hoping that this Diablo Immortal does too, because then maybe I'll actually play. And I want to play more mobile games.
I struggle with the fact that my thumbs have to be on the screen. You know, that just doesn't feel right to me. Just my thumbs are on the screen. So, I don't know.
My mobile games consist of gardening and house decor. So those are my mobile games.
I wish they would put Stardew Valley on mobile. I really think that a ton of people would play it because it's basically Minecraft and farming simulator. What is it?
Right.
There was some moon game. I'm having another senior moment where I can't remember what the other game was, but that's what it is. Farming simulator and Minecraft together. So many people like that. So it'd just be awesome.
Interesting. Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, I guess that's what we have been all over the map this last couple of weeks. Besides the events that we're going to talk about tonight, so that's what we're going to get into. It's great that we have Jem here with us because she can help us unpack what all happened with Extra Life this year. It was on November the 3rd. Jem, do you remember all of these details still? We started at what time in the morning?
Sort of. I've slept since then, so.
Right. It feels like a week and forever ago.
Exactly. It was really great. I haven't heard anything negative, so maybe that's just me not hearing it, but it seemed like everybody had a good time, and I know we raised a lot of money, and that was really exciting because the money doesn't go to us, of course, it goes to the kids. It goes to Children's Miracle Network hospitals, so
right.
I think it was really good.
Yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of kids to run around Saturday morning because they had birthday parties and soccer games. So that took me out of play, and I hate that. Something happens to me during Extra Life every stinking year, and I'm not able to participate in the first chunk of the game. It's usually been work, but this was the first time kids kind of got me. But I was able to tune in, I think, everything after the lunch period. I think we did that. So it was sort of right in the middle of the deal. And then I was able to stream a lot of it. By the time I got done, I looked, and I had been streaming for I think I did an hour or an hour and a half, and then took maybe 30 minutes for the break, and then streamed again for 4.5 hours or something. So there was a lot to it.
That's good. We had the time was moved forward a little bit more this year too. I think that was to accommodate Jess. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jem, but we've started at 10 before, I think, maybe even 9 one year, and this year we're at 11.
This is actually the same time we started last year. I just kept the same
Really?
schedule. Yeah, I just kept
Why
the
did-
same schedule.
I thought we started earlier, but
Mm.
okay.
I
Right,
mean, we
but
may
you know,
have. I
it's
don't
awful
know.
for Jess no matter what. Like
Yeah.
anytime we start, that's a decent time, for a Saturday morning in the United States. Is
Oh yeah.
terrible for anybody in our New Zealand and Australia
Right.
areas.
Yeah, but she's back
Pacific.
stateside now, so
She is.
Yes.
yeah, that'll
Gonna
be
be
her. She's on her way.
No, she's here.
She
So
is here. So yeah.
she's back home. So that's good.
So really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Do we want to do a quick breakdown of what all happened on the events list? Is that cool to do? 'Cause-
Yes,
so,
go ahead.
Yes.
so Jim, I know I've heard you do this elsewhere, like on Passionately Casual, but we haven't done it for the council. So did you want to give us like a real brief breakdown as to what happened for each of the events?
Of what we did.
Of what we
Okay,
did, yeah.
well, we had our of course we every year we start out just with the gathering type icebreaker type thing, just kind of get everybody into one thing, everybody do their mic checks, am I in the right server, that kind of thing, so we can get them ready for the next event. We had Quick Flash this year. I think this is our first year to do an event that was not an end game event, and Kid Lee ran Quick Flash for us. And I was so focused on trying to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row that I kind of forgot to watch the Quiplash, so I'm not really sure, but I heard it was some really great questions and stuff in there. So I think everybody had a lot of fun with that one.
Since I actually participated in that, I would like to say yes, it was great. Although I was very bummed that for the first time since I have been playing that, I did not get first place. Once. It was
Really?
very depressing.
Oh,
I will say though, I was highly distracted, and I had also been sick off and on for a couple of weeks. So I was
man.
distracted, and I had that crap going on. It was very annoying because I've gotten used to that first place, like little trophy or like crown, like the little crown that goes on your little character, and mine didn't have one. And like that little broken heart emoji was legit, like it was a thing.
Poor Magic.
Broken heart
Poor
emoji.
Magic. Well, we'll have to talk to somebody about that. Make sure Magic wins next time. So
Yeah, we'll rig it. We got it. Rigged.
we'll rig it.
Done.
Keep Magic happy. So then our
Can
next.
I just jump in just for a second? I'd just like to point out this was the first year that Kid Lee actually ran 2 events.
Yes.
Which was very nice. I'd love to get more of that happening, I think.
He
Exactly.
did the speeder event. I did not do the speeder event this year, which I think is a first for me. Or
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, because I think I've done Extra Life for 2 years and I've done the speeder event. Want to
Last
say?
year.
Yeah. Oh,
You
so
did.
yeah, it was last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was really nice that he jumped in and wanted to do that. So
Exactly.
okay, I'm
exactly. So,
sorry,
yeah.
Jen.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, so he did 2 events. In between that, we had there's a new pub achievement. And so Mox took us through the the Cantina Crawl. And you go through the different cantinas. It's in your I don't remember, we talk about in one of the streams, it talks about how you find it. And you go through all the different pubs, and each time Paxton Raw says something different. It's like you're learning more about him. And by the end, he's had quite a bit too much to drink, but you get your
Right.
achievement. So,
I think Mox's events are amazing. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
He finds some obscure little something that's a chain of events in the game and takes everybody through it. And I'm like, where did you even find this? It's just,
Exactly.
My favorite thing was like the scavenger hunt type thing from last year. I was like,
Yes.
like you had to count planets outside of the flags or
Right.
the ships and stuff like that. I'm like, holy crap! It was actually pretty
Exactly.
fun.
I discovered that the
Exactly.
scavenger hunt is where my talent lies because I dominated at the translation of Orabesh. I was
Now,
like, hey,
wait. I think you might have cheated. There might have been some cheating going on.
Hey, now.
Am I right, Elise? You were there for that year, right?
Oh, well, there was some discussion about whether or not there was some shadiness there.
There was
Well,
discussion. That's right.
my reputation seems to be preceding me and ruining my legitimate endeavors. I think I should go into some kind of underworld gangster life because we'll see.
That's too funny.
I really did enjoy that Cantina Crawl too. I thought it was really nice to read all the. Normally, when you click on those things, you just you know what I mean? Like you just click it, and then at the end you get your achievement. With him, he actually had something to say.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think it made it
They've
interesting.
upped their game, I think.
There's a couple of times he goes, well, what are you doing way out here? This isn't where you're supposed to be. I mean, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, you guys listening, like, we all know I'm going to be drinking here, but what are you doing here? It's actually pretty fun.
Exactly. I liked it because it would, like Gail said, it wasn't just your typical go click this, do this thing. It was interesting. Take the time to read it. Well, then we had the Carillion running gun, which we were backed Kidley on that one, and it was so much fun. I really liked how it looked like a real race set up. It had this little gate thing over the top that we all started with, and it was a lot of fun. We did it in different groups according to speeder skills, which I thought that was nice. That way it's not like you're the lowest speeder skill, you're automatically going to lose. So you raced with people that had your skill level. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And then we had, I loved this event. We had the Kicking It Old School Mount Show, and that was Elise's thing. And Elise was like, I want to do like a car show, and then we cruise the drag. Isn't that right, Elise?
I think it was a blast.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I had a screenshot of that. I turned around and took a screenshot of the massive line of things. That would have been good to put in the show notes. Dang it. I had a really good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. No. So explain this event to us, Elise. Like, what happened? How did it go?
I wanted to do something not contesty because I'm not good with those, but we always have a costume contest and we have a party, so I was trying to do something different. So I came up with the mount show because I wanted to see the kind of mounts people would bring to a mount show.
Absolutely.
Then, also, I dragged Kirk into it, and Kirk is all about his old Porsche, and
Yes,
he does them for real.
Exactly.
So I was like, you're going to help me. So he was voluntold. And then, and we're going to do this. So people were supposed to, I asked people to come and, bring their favorite, best, whatever mount to the
We
mount
met
show.
at the butt of the hut.
Butt of the hut.
That's right.
And
In
or the hut of the
Nashidar.
butt, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it.
I
Right.
disagree. I think it was more like the hip roll is what I think is what it was.
There
I
you
think
go.
that's where we met up.
The hip roll.
I mean,
Right.
we
Yeah,
don't
it was
really
the
know
roll.
the anatomy of the hut. So,
And there's a good reason for that, and we don't want anyone in chat to explain that. Thank you.
That's
so
fine. Put the kibosh
meanwhile,
on it.
I sent Kirk out to get prizes, and we came up with kind of some. We both kind of came up with some secret categories that we were just going to look for while we were there. So we didn't give any specific directions, just bring your mount, the one you want to show off to everybody. And we had like best RP mount, so people who dressed and matched their mount to the thing, and that one was great. The most colorful, the smallest. Kirk had this thing about Vector and Dessler or whatever, like Ford and Chevy. You get a lot of those two categories of
Right.
mounts. So, so we had that category. And I got to give props to Kirk because I sent him and 3 commas off to buy my crap for me. And
Everyone's, I think, has heard about 3 commas.
yes. And he actually really put some serious thought in the prizes. For those of you, I think Sakari, you won a category. Am I remembering correctly? It's hard for me to remember.
Yeah, I did. I forget what it was.
It was
But
the animal one because you had the moonlight break.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, it's a break
Yes.
that's it like there's a but JT had one that was similar. I actually like JT's more than mine.
There's the
But it's got like
twilight
a
and the
pulse
moonlight.
that
Yeah.
goes along it, which I think is just amazing.
right. But JT got the most colorful mount, and you,
Okay.
I think, got the best animal mount. And your
Yeah.
prizes, I don't know if you wouldn't have known unless you saw all the prizes everybody got. But your prizes were geared towards animal mounts, so we gave you more.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So-
That's cool.
So all of the prizes had to do with
Yeah.
the category that you
With what
won.
you actually won. Wow.
Yes, except
So-
for the door prizes.
We did not have a lawnmower mount though. The ones that you mount and you kind
know.
of hang on the back of it.
I know. I was.
We don't have a single one of those.
Because we had.
Yeah, because of all the amazing mounts I have, a lawnmower is not the one I want to show up to an event. I'm sorry.
Right. Unless it's got Christmas lights. I think I kind of like that one.
No, but I mean, if I would have brought my operative to that, like I have the Santa Mobile basically, where it's like the sleigh, like it jingles
Like
as you
the
go.
snowblower.
The Vectron thing, yeah, like I have that. I mean, I would have done that one, but that's about it. Like, I just thought it was comedic to go around the Star Wars community with jingle bells. So why wouldn't I get that?
You know, and I mean, it's hard to kind of come up with ideas, you know, and still be able to match up prizes with it. So, you know, but nobody brought a DIY one. We were hoping for that one.
Yeah, a crafted mount. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the RP one, I think we gave them like the utilitarian like mounts, like there's like the mover thingy that you get from KDY kind of one, and we got that. So I gotta give Kurt props. He and then the person who won the smallest mount got a bunch of like little tiny mounts.
Those are like the Mir and Blurgs or whatever, that type of mount. Yeah, the little tiny itty bitty one.
I thought it was great, and then since it was old school, I wanted to cruise the strip. So
all right, so let's explain this cruise the strip.
Cool.
Everybody had to turn off your sprint, turn off your basically toggle the walk. And then we went around the upper level of SWTOR Promenade. Just
and for those of you, so I live in bougie land, so I have to be honest, but right next door to me there was cruising in the town next to me. It's kind of weird. We're like, there's almost this dividing line where it's all like, you know, snobby suburban people, and then there's the town right next to us, which was very farmers and you know, whatever. So I got to experience cruising when I would go hang with my friends, so I know of it. But it's that old, you know, when everybody gets
you're just kind of chilling on the
road
on
Friday night, and you drive around town then. So
and you turn the music up and the windows down. That's
hanging
Jen's
out
got it.
See, I never did that. I never did that until I was an adult, and I wanted to show off that I still listen to the good music. And then I was like, now I can cruise.
Turn up the metal.
Actually, today I was blasting as I lay dying. Like, it's snowing, and I've got my sunroof, like, the moon is cracked, and I'm like... so, that's me.
Yeah. So that was my event. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed seeing what everybody brought out, so it was a good time for me.
It was.
It was a good time for all of us.
And people on SWTOR had no idea what was going on.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I really wanted to see somebody put it in chat. What in the goodness is? I didn't see it, but I wasn't paying attention to chat on my defense.
I saw a couple of what's going on. What am I missing?
Good.
Yeah, I saw some of those. It was too funny.
All right, so what was next on the event list?
Well, we had our break, and then we had our SWTOR match game, which is something that Mox and JT do every year. They take a game show and they turn it towards SWTOR style. So we had a panel. We had guests. I don't know what you call them, like a
panel works.
A panel. And of celebrities, and they were on there. I mean, they are celebrities. They're in our community. What are they? Content creators. We had. What are you doing?
I'm pointing at Magic. Magic was one of them. So
okay. So just so you know, from my view, it looks like you're pointing at your lap. So
right.
Yeah. In Skype.
I planned it carefully, people.
Point at me.
Yeah. So just so our listeners know, like our Skype window, Magic is above me on the Skype window. So that's what explains all of that. But I knew that on the stream window, her window is below mine.
Okay,
just want to make sure that's out there.
But so it was a lot of fun. Well, we had some interesting questions, but maybe Magic could tell us kind of behind the scenes what was going on in over there in the.
Yeah, okay, so we were standing on these crates. Those of us who were on there, Eric Musco was there, me, people from a few other like podcasts and content creators.
SWTORista was there. I'm sure we can remember some of this.
Max the Gray.
And
Marshall, because Marshall is awesome.
We were basically showing off our toys and emotes, like Star Wars toys. Calm down. Our SWTOR toys in game. And we were doing our dances and emotes and stuff. I was playing Dejaric, and then next thing I know, like I look away, and a couple seconds later, I look back, and Eric and like 3 other people all have their Dejaric tables down, so it all looks like we're playing together on the crates. And I'm like, hey, kicking back, playing Dejaric, that's fine. And so like the game was basically a question is asked and the contestant gives an answer, but the panelists have already given an answer, and the thing is you're wanting to get an answer you think the contestant will give. So if there's matches, they get points for it. And if you're like us and we're terrible at it, you don't get many matches and your contestants don't really win. But it was still a really good time, and it was a good community thing. Like, seeing some of the answers, like, some of us were thinking
Those
far
questions,
out
though.
into left field.
Yeah.
And there was not, like, we were trying to keep it PG. There's not one.
There's no PG to
that made
this.
it possible to be PG. One of the questions
Poodoo.
in that show
#Poodoo.
was one of those
JT
ones
is
like
here.
asking what. Okay, one of them was asking like, okay, Luke Skywalker's getting his hand replaced, and C-3PO is giving him what?
And then with an
In my
immediate
mind-
Eric Musco. Oh my god.
All
Yeah.
of us, what is this? And like, my answer, I said, and I thought was appropriate, and I thought everybody would want to give this answer, but everyone was trying to be diplomatic, and I'm like, I'm just saying it.
Someone's got to say it.
I said lube job because it's mechanical. It needs lubricant, okay? Like, to me, it made sense, but everyone else was like, holy, what did you just say? Like, that show, Mox, come on now. Those questions.
So JT is in chat
My
as
God,
all access.
I just
He's
laughed my whole.
Oh my goodness.
That was too funny.
whole entire time. Like, I would break in and laugh and then mute myself again, but you guys just did not hear how hard I was laughing at most of the
Well,
time.
because the rest of us were like, are you
So
kidding me?
awesome.
Like, this is the question.
the
We all
questions.
know.
The questions
Every
were
single
certainly
one of us.
dirtier than the answers.
Every single one of us goes, are we allowed to say this? Can we say this? All of us were like, is this okay? I don't know if this is okay. And if you have to ask, is it's okay? The answer is probably no.
That's
I
true.
did hear that. I did hear them say
Awesome.
that.
Yes. Anyways, so that basically what happened was there was lots of hysterical giggling and a whole lot of innuendos and that's what she said jokes. So really it was a good time and right up my alley.
My favorite was when Eric was answering and he goes, "That's my winky face."
I was like, come again? What did you say?
There's a
She goes,
hashtag.
So
No,
what
it
was
was too
JT
funny.
saying? What was
Huh?
JT saying, Sakari?
What was JT saying?
Yeah, I thought you said he was in chat.
Oh yeah, no, he's in chat. He's having to. Well, he jumped into chat and said poodoo.
Yes,
Oh,
Which
yes,
was a
voodoo
keyword
was
as well.
The answer. Yep.
that's funny.
The poop jokes were flying as well. Excuse the pun.
That's a joke and it's not.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to be known for the record. I made none of those jokes. I stuck with my trademark jokes and made none of the disgusting jokes. Instead, all I was like, really? Is that what we're calling it now? And then a couple times I said, is that a euphemism? But other than that, I did not make any of those jokes, okay? I abstained from that.
So so the next event was then.
Desperately seeking CZ198. So we went to CZ198 and we did the dailies that are there with the macro binoculars. And at the end, if you have friends standing, you get to go ahead and claim your pet. If you don't have friends standing, then you your pet just sits in your inventory until you get it. It's a rep thing. Hey, Lady Danny. And so we did that, and it was a lot of fun. And I forgot to have a map. I had all it planned on my desktop computer, but I forgot I was doing Extra Life from my laptop computer. So I didn't have my map. So we're all running around like, where are we going next? And I'm like, I don't know. So
That was half the fun. Was like, okay, well, let's all just scatter and go find
was.
stuff. And
It was
CZ198
fun.
is small enough a place to where you can't
Exactly.
really.
Exactly.
And
And I
then-
mean, everybody got what they wanted.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
and we got done early, I think, right? Or right
Well,
on
I
time
think
or something like that.
we ran late because of the SWTOR match game. So that started my event late, but we got finished in time that I think we were only about maybe 10 minutes late starting Sakari's event. So we seemed to be able to make up some time there. So,
Right.
yeah. Which brings us to the next thing after the CZ198 was the last man standing. And that was Sakari's event. Totally fun. Of course, we had to have it in the new Rishi Stronghold. So, Sakari, what can you tell us?
What can I tell us about? Okay, so I enlisted the help of my wonderfully gifted, decorative, powered wife, who knows how to make a labyrinth out of those big new wall pieces that you get. You know, like you basically make the Mark IV. What are they called? The Universal Prefabs or something? Is that what they are? You can go turn them
I
into
think
the
so,
droid
yeah.
and go buy those big wall pieces. So she's like, ooh, and has created. It's just not the first labyrinth she's created. So she built a labyrinth. And we decided, hey, let's go, have these two groups, and they can start from either end, and we'll have them just go in there, and the last one standing wins for his team, and then that team will divide it in half and have them do it again, and basically pare it down, tournament style, till we have basically the last man standing. So we ran into a bit of an issue though, and it's one of the things I would love to be able to suggest to BioWare is allow people to make ops groups with somebody in phase, because we couldn't build ops groups once we were there, so we had to like pare it down to basically a 4-on-4, which I was hoping to have double that, because I think that would have been fun to actually have a full sized group doing it. So some people took a break, but basically what ended up happening was it was like it was like putting a bunch of people in a maze with a serial killer, because Zacho showed up.
Oh my goodness.
And Zacho is a beast. If anybody knows Zacho, nightmare rating, just beast person. And he basically just eradicated a whole entire side, and then next round, and then he eradicated that side.
You say that, but I watched him leap to his death on a Marauder the other night.
Really?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to say that? Anyways.
That's funny. But
Okay, but can I just like point out though? I believe, if I remember, because I got to actually watch with the little cameras, which incidentally,
Which is
I just
cool.
like to say is super cool.
I agree.
But you can knock them back, which is
That's weird.
Yeah.
But I didn't Marshall and Zacho end up being
they did.
the
Yes.
end too?
Yes.
Who would have ever guessed that Marshall was gonna be?
And Marshall
second to
was
last man
holding his
standing.
Poor
own.
Marshall, you have no
Oh,
faith in
yeah.
him. I
No,
can't believe that.
I've never seen
I'm
Marshall.
totally
PvP.
telling him you said that.
Please
Dude,
do.
okay,
Said it.
let me say it this way, and I'm gonna be careful to word this right. It's like taking the most chill person you've ever met in your life and putting them in this arena with
Yes.
somebody who's very wound up about this game.
Yes.
And he was just like, hey man, this is not the first time I've done this, and he was just holding his own. It was great. It was
Oh, it's fabulous. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, that is
Fun to see.
Marshall's MO, just period. I mean, he is basically like that head bob. The head bob emote
Right.
is fully Marshall. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't just start doing no bones until Zacho wiped him out. But hey,
I mean,
is
it
what
was
is.
just. I mean, it was just awesome to see. So,
All right, so back to the events
I
list.
agree.
What else? What was the next thing?
Well, then our last event was a combined event. We went to the superhero costume cosplay contest, sorry, and a dance party. And we had Kirk and Jess put those on for us.
Okay.
And we had some excellent entries this year. We had somebody has to remind me what JT's entry was, because I don't watch a lot of anime.
I know. Yeah. So
no, he was Mortal Kombat, right? The Mortal
he
Kombat.
ended
dude,
as a
right?
Raiden. Yeah.
He was like a dude that didn't had all these electrical powers and then morphed into something else or something like that. I don't know. It was
No,
just
it was the
totally
other way.
awesome.
It was the other
Whatever.
way. I think.
Yeah.
But,
It was
yeah,
Raiden was his second character. That I
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
video
Okay.
game.
And we had the Hulk, and we had Poison Ivy, and we had people that had been working on this for like a year. They've been putting things together to achieve
In-game
the
cosplay.
look. Yes, in-game cosplay.
Mhm.
So it was really exciting. And then we had a fun dance party afterwards. So
Right, Radio Free was hosting, like doing
Yep.
their
Yes.
thing, so we got to listen to
Yeah.
them,
Yes.
and they gave us a shout out. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun to hear. Radio
Yeah.
Yes.
Radio Free's playlist is awesome. Like they were,
they are.
it was a good party. So.
Yeah.
And that took us to the end of the night. So after that, I'm sure everyone who had been busy it was 12 hours worth of much to do.
Yes.
So I know
lot.
I was tired by the time I got done. I was like, okay, I need to take a break, because I've been sitting. I can imagine people that have been there the whole day doing the whole thing, i.e.,
Oh, yeah.
you guys. Definitely very cool. So let's wrap up the event. Where are we right now? Like, what do we raise?
We were at 3,200 and change the last time I checked. I haven't checked for a couple of days though. I'm sorry, I didn't know that question was on the test.
Yes, I do know that we were over 3K, which is really cool because I think cumulative, at least maybe you know this number better than I do. I think we're close to like 15 something now with this.
Yes, I believe so.
Somewhere there. So over the 4 years or so that we've been doing Extra Life.
Yep,
Which I really, it's something I think we should all be proud of. It's quite a lot to say that a whole bunch of people playing, you know, a video game have managed to raise $15,000 in 4 years for sick kids.
Exactly.
I think we all should give ourselves a pat on the back for,
Yeah.
you know,
well,
our efforts.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you get all of, you know, gamers get such a bad rap for so much stuff. This is one of the cool things that we can do, kind of turn things going the other direction. We've had a episode on this before.
Honestly, if you only even raise like $20, you should be proud because that's $20 someone in need didn't have. So, I mean, like, to me, 100%, even if you didn't meet your goal, like, you should still be proud and happy that you were able to contribute anything at all.
Yep.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
And so,
even if you didn't donate, just showing up and supporting the people who were trying to raise money
getting word out.
Just important. It's not fun when you're out there doing stuff by yourself. You know, for 12 hours. So we appreciate everybody who did anything to support the effort.
We had, up until this year, we had, in the past 4 years, we had raised over $13,000. And so with this year's $3,200, we're now over $16,000 that we've raised for Extra Life in the last 5 years.
Right.
So,
and thank you to Kid Lee.
Donate.
Yeah, Kid Lee added the link to chat, the Wookiee Alliance team, so it is actually there. You can click the donate button if you would like. Thank you, Kid Lee, for putting that out there. It's going to be open until when? I think last year we had it to the end of the year, right?
Yeah, it goes until the end of December. January 1 will start the new cycle. Most people don't really start hitting it hard until October, November, but it goes through it goes through to the end of December. So you still have time to donate.
And I think Extra Life Day, they picked the 3rd of November as Extra Life Day. But I do know there were several fairly large teams. IGN, I think, did their Extra Life marathon this past weekend. So
and then you have some that have done like 100 days of gaming where they go in and they do for 100 days. They do gaming for Extra Life. So it just depends on the team what they're doing.
Right.
But,
I do know the official Extra Life Twitch account was on Kid Lee's channel for a while. I want to say they dropped by and were hanging out there, so that's pretty cool, actually.
That is very
cool. They did that awesome.
Very cool. We had a blast during Extra Life this year. Those of you who weren't able to participate, this is a yearly thing. We're going to do it next year, so it's going to be pretty cool. We'll see how things go. Definitely. All right, so let's go on to SWTORUnite. That was this last weekend, the November the 10th. The idea was that Dr. SWTOR and Marcus of Working Class Nerds got together and had an idea. How about we get all of the podcasts together, at least some representation thereof, and have them do a Gods from the Machine run. Magic, how did it go?
Honestly, it went pretty smoothly up until Skyba. And I'm a little bit salty because Skyba is my favorite boss in the game. And the Extinction Protocol is my favorite mechanic in the game. And I had never died to that mechanic once. When the rest of my group had died, me and like one tank would survive, and we'd get the last 30% down by throwing dots and just saber smacking it. And they wiped hardcore, and I couldn't stealth out fast enough.
So you
and
had
I
to take
died
the loss.
for my first time on Skyba. I was so upset. I was like, I turned down healing Nembrontis for this, and I died to Skyba story mode. I was a little salty, just a little.
Oh, it was great.
But it was a good time, and the whole purpose of it was to bring the community together, and I feel like that was done. There was a lot of people hanging out in the different chats and stuff, and I had a lot of people. We had a lot of good discussion going on, and so I think it was good. When we went to Isaac's, by this time everyone's like, whew, like a little tired. As Marshall,
it took us like 3 hours to get there.
Oh, wow.
Getting to Isaac's is not.
So.
Yeah. We went. We got the bonus boss too. I mean, like we really did everything we could do.
I didn't. So I was like, I'm going the right way. I'm not going to the bonus boss. And they're like, oh, let's go to the bonus boss. I'm like, that's a bad idea. I'm not going. So I went the correct way and went to the water fountain area room. And I waited in stealth because I was on my op feeler. I waited in stealth and everyone else wiped. And I was like, hey, guess who's not dead? So they're like, wait, does this count as a wipe? I'm like, nope. Magic's still alive. They're like, oh yeah, the whole raid group isn't dead. It's not a wipe. I'm like, that's right. So we actually only wiped on Skyba and Isaac. So when we get to Isaac's, like, we're all kind of tired, and the frosty beverages, as Marshall likes to say, was set in for a lot of people, and we're all like, whoo.
Yes.
Like, it's his time to chill. But you can't really chill on Isaac's.
We got there tired, and I think made about 4 attempts at Isaac's overall.
Well, and by the time you get there, half the people, I think, or less than half, probably that's less than half, I would say, hadn't actually completed it on story mode on 8-man. So
Oh, wow.
they get there and we're doing it in 16, and they're like running all over, like, what do we do now? We kick this, we kill this, and just grab that one, get this tether, and everyone's like, what do we do? So we had clear directions, but there was a whole lot of and I rezzed like literally 8 people in one pool. 8 people like right after another.
Wow. Simultaneously. Or serially.
There's a 30-second timer on story mode for the res. So my battle res went off every 30 seconds there for a bit until I got every person back up in the group. It was actually pretty fun. But by the time it was done, I was really ready to go to bed. But yeah, it was good. And Kid Lee was in my chat, which is funny because Kid Lee, I think, was supposed to be there and could not attend. So I ratted him out, and I'm like, by the way, Kid Lee couldn't make it, but he's in my chat watching.
Yes,
so
Kid Lee. Who's incidentally in chat now, so
yeah.
I guess he can explain himself. So there were some
about it. He's like, hey, what's up?
There were some cool things. So just zooming out a little bit on the night. Before we got the event started, Dr. SWTOR put a poll out there and asked on Twitter, how many times will the podcasters basically do this? How many times will we have to go to return to area start? And had 4 options out there. One was like 0. One was like maybe we'll only wipe once. There was about 2 through 7, somewhere, kind of an acceptable. And that's where the majority of people thought we were going to be. 27% of all people voting said, yeah, it's going to be 8 or more wipes or a do not finish. Magic Case,
wow.
What was the ending?
It was a do not finish, and I'll tell you why. If we went one more pool, we probably could have killed it. But like I said, those frosty beverages were setting in, and I have been pretty much sleep deprived for the last 2 weeks. So by the time we got there, I was like, I gotta stay awake. I'm so tired. I gotta stay awake. And I was like, I had to swap to my Sork healer, by the way, because the damage was insane. So I swapped to my Sork, and this was all on Starforge, and I'm a Satil Sean player.
The Satil Sean players had to move to a character over there, make this happen.
All my characters were extremely undergeared because it's on that server, and I spent 1 million credits, and I paid $10, I think it was, to transfer a character over, and I didn't even transfer the right one, so I was annoyed, and so I couldn't pay to get the other one over. So I brought a character over that had 4 set piece bonus for an opular, and not the one that had the full set and the 246 item rating. So I was undergeared, and I was stressed and tired and generally just done. So it was a not finish because they were like, well, we can do one more.
Well, okay. So 2 things that we do need to mention. Number 1, I like, so Chill of Ootinicast was there, and he actually leveled a character. I think over the course of 7 weeks, he leveled a character from started fresh without any legacy over there, leveled it all the way to max level and geared to, I think, 245, I want to say was his gear rating. When we did that in 7 weeks, that's some work.
Crazy.
So
that is great, and I would have done that under any other circumstance except for I have been doing so many pug groups lately. I don't have time for that crap. I'm locked out on all my tunes on everything, and so I don't have time. I'm sorry.
So Marshall was like, dude,
I applaud him.
Dude, he doesn't play, and I was like, no, he plays. It was a joke, but anyway. So everybody was represented. It's kind of the cool thing about this whole event. Magic and I were there from the council. State of the Old Republic, Ted was there. From Ootinicast, we had both Chill and Dr. SWTOR, which I think was great. Working Class Nerds. We had Marcus and Nick. Passionately Casual, JT was there, and myself. From the SWTOR Escape, Max and Seema were there. Bad Feeling, Brian was there. Chuck couldn't make it, and I was hoping to hang out with Chuck for a night because Chuck's fun. But hey, we'll just take Brian. That's all right.
I was gonna say, you're saying Brian's not fun. Poor Brian.
I'm actually glad Brian was helpful. It's good to have him along. The usual, of course, Marshall, whom we've mentioned a bunch of times. And then, so we had a slot or two that we couldn't fill. And so we were able to find people that we weren't planning on having there, but they were able to join us and actually really added something really cool. One of them was Dekion, who is the GM of Ootini Guilds. Those of you who listen to Ootinicast will know him. He's been a guest on that podcast a bunch of times. I'm going to probably get this wrong, but Intisar is a blogger. Intisar is the one who does the, it's the Orabesh blog. I forget the name of the thing. Look for Intisar, Intisar or something on I'll have the link in the show notes for the account for Twitter. And then Scrubland Shad, who's a streamer. We had them all step in to fill the gaps. So it's really cool to just like hang out with this gigantic group of, and it was fun because if you listen to all of these shows, you already know the voices, you feel like you know the people. So when we got into that group, I felt like, hey, I know all of you. I know what you think about this. I know what you think about that. I know what, if you've had any, been good at this or been able to kill this, I know. So it was like stepping into a raid group I've been running with for ages, and it was the first time that we were all together. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, any other things that we need to mention on that? Magic?
You're muted.
Well, that's good. So you couldn't hear my furious typing. Anyways, I would say it's probably the only other thing to mention. I would say is that I personally thought the whole point of this, because it's SWTORUnite, was to unite the community.
Right.
I think it was very successful in that. There was multiple people that were in the raid that were streaming, and there was, which I thought was important. I personally voiced that I thought it was important that we had multiple streamers streaming, because you have multiple people that like different varieties of entertainers. So if you only had one streamer, you wouldn't get as many variety people watching. And I was afraid we would lose that united front kind of thing, So because we had so many people streaming it, we had so many different kinds of people, different levels of gamer and like different types of Star Wars gamer. Magic Baby agrees. She's giggling. That were there and participating and chatting. And me personally, I feel like we did do some uniting there. I think it met its goal, and I think the purpose was to show that we were there and that we do have a voice and there's a community. And I would say that it was successful. So I think personally, Star Wars or SWTORUnite was good. And
it was great.
I think honestly, if we did something like that about every year, it'd be good.
Lady Danny,
awesome.
Lady Danny's put the link for Intisar into chat. So thank you, Lady. Definitely go check his Twitter account and also his blog. Yeah, no, it was a blast. I think hanging out with all those people was great. I like the idea of multiple streamers as well, just because you can tune in. Mine was a tank point of view. And Marshall and I, because believe it or not, because of our work on WOG together, have tanked this stuff together. And I was a tank and he was a tank. So we went into it and they were like, well, what is our tank strategy? Because that's really there's the swaps and all that kind of stuff. And Marshall and I were like, no, we got this. We got this. So we went into the first boss and he tanked. Tithe like he does. I do all of the tanking of the ads that spawn into that fight. Next fight, we knew what we were doing. It was great. I think it actually worked that it was the two of us and that we have some experience together. But it was great. Having different people there streaming, we're able to see multiple different sides. Everybody got a chance to talk about what their project was, their podcast, so we were able to they would highlight, say, hey, so tell us about your thing. What do you do? And the question I liked the most that they asked was, what is like the unique element? What do you bring to the SWTOR community? So we all got to say, hey, well, our angle is this. This is what we try to provide.
Mine was, that's what she said jokes.
We do happen to have a corner on the market.
Just a few, it's
on that
fine.
particular aspect. So very cool. Very cool. All right, so while we're here, let's jump into some of what all is going on in the announcements. Go ahead.
Can I just say, I didn't mention, but actually, since you brought up Ootini Guilds,
right.
the Ootinis actually joined us for several events of Extra Life.
They did, yes.
So we didn't mention that, John, but I feel like we probably should have.
Absolutely.
Said that. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
shout out
there's
to
a
them
lot of
for
people out there, right.
yeah, bringing people to help with events and stuff. It was
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. It's always a pleasure, I think, to hang out with the Utini group. So very cool. On the announcements, really, there's only really one huge thing that's going on right now. PTS is not quite, the public test server is not quite up yet, but they are expecting to bring it up soon with a massive dump on the dev tracker of stuff that they're going to have out there for testing. So I think Masterwork gear has already been out there, but that's still up. It's going to be up. 248 bolster with it, but particularly the guild stuff. So the guild leveling adjustments that they're going to be making to Conquest is going to be out there. Guild perks as well. If you recall, it's kind of ways that you can customize your guild or what you're going to do for Conquest to make it more suited to what you do as a guild. So I think that's some really cool stuff. Jump onto the public test server, give it testing, give your feedback. The more people we have doing that, the better the game will be to everybody's liking. So it's definitely worth it. And that is all that I have on the announcements for this week.
So any last words? Anybody want to say anything else before we close this? Okay, well, Redna's not here to do his usual thing, so I'll let one of you guys do it. But I'm going to go ahead and say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who participated and watched and or supported Extra Life and SWTORUnite and us here on the council. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the support. And we especially appreciate all of our Patreons. We Patreons would like to say thank you. You're awesome. We appreciate you. People in chat who are chit-chatting, people who participate in the polls, people who hate us on Reddit. Like, we appreciate you all. You're all absolutely wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a good time. Jim, before we sign out, would you like to let everybody know where we can find you on Twitch and on Twitter, etc.?
Okay, on Twitter, I am at coffee_with_Gem.
Okay.
And on Twitch, I'm at Texas Gemini.
Very cool. So definitely everybody go give her a follow. We'd appreciate that. Jim has long time been a friend of the show, and we love that we've had an opportunity to have her on. Thank you, Jim, for appearing with us tonight.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes.
Jem, are you going to be streaming after?
I am. I
Right.
plan to stream. I'll step away for a few minutes and come back and stream.
All right. So everybody, there you go. There's your
Well, I'm sorry,
evening
Jim,
entertainment.
I'll be competing with you.
A lot of fun. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the episode. The council is hereby adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35. Magic Ace is on there at the Magic Ace. Redna at R3DN4. You can find me at I am Sakari, and of course Jem, as she said, at coffee_with_Jem. Also, don't forget to like. It is, yes. Don't forget our Patreon page, please. Patreon.com/thecouncilswotor, where patrons can catch the articles that we're talking about behind the scenes with exclusive backstage access to our after show chat. That's it for us this week, guys. Just for once, let me look on you with my own.
Bye.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.